Ghetto boys, ghetto boys, ghetto boys, ghetto boys. A moment that's capsulated in history. A moment that people ain't gonna never forget. Now I understand that it was short time, but here's where I'm at with that. For something like that, for you to sit across this table from me weekly and knowing that you finna go to the Grammys and perform that song.
Let me hold up, time out.
Okay.
I didn't know I was gonna do that song.
At what point did you know?
When I got there.
Okay. So, all right. Okay, so you knew you was, but you didn't know you was gonna perform a Minds Playing Tricks.
I had no clue.
But when you found out, did you even think to say, man, this is a big moment? I'm performing the Ghetto Boys song, something that me and Willie D wrote. Yeah, I wrote 3 verses, but Will wrote 1. He was on the song. Mm-hmm. He is a Ghetto Boy. They want a Ghetto Boy song. Did you think for one moment to say, yo, Will, you know, even if time was running out on you, you didn't think for one moment to say, man, let me just at least call Will and let him know what's going on. It ain't cross your mind to say that?
It didn't cross my mind, Willie. It didn't cross my mind.
I don't believe you.
You don't believe shit. You know,
I'm just saying. I'm just saying, man. I don't believe you, bro, because I know you smarter than that.
Well, I didn't.
I know. No.
And it was. It's so much shit going on.
A lot of thinking.
And it's so much shit. Let me tell you something too, so you know. It's so much shit going on, Willie. Until I don't know if you got the call or not. I don't know what's happening with you on your side of it.
Come on, bro.
I don't know. I don't know who handled your business. And as a matter of fact,
know if the Grammys call about me doing something for Ghetto Boy, I didn't
know that. I didn't even know that the call was. I didn't even know that the call was for sure until that Wednesday, that day.
You knew if
I did not know.
Listen, okay, let's say you knew that day. And here's the thing.
Okay, now time out. I know every motherfucking thing. Now, how does it change it?
How does it change?
Yeah, it's over.
Well, what
the motherfucker gave me whoever the producer was gave me 4 bars. That's it.
Well, it wasn't 4 bars.
What was it?
I think he did 8. But in any event, that's his. I mean,
4 measures, 8 bars,
okay,
whatever it is.
So how does it change? How does it? You said how does it change it?
Yeah.
How does it change anything that we talk about on a daily basis? Like we talk about a lot of shit, and how does just us talking about what we talk
what's
about
the end all
changes?
What's the end? Well, I didn't know that I was doing my mind playing tricks on me for 1, and for 2. Ain't nothing I can do about it now. The shit is over with.
Yeah, the shit is over with. But the end all is for me to express to you how I felt about the shit you did. That's the end all. And you know what? Not just what you did, but the Grammys did. The dudes that
the shit that I did, Willie.
This is what I'm saying. So you don't see nothing wrong with going up on that stage and performing a Ghetto Boy song by yourself. You don't see nothing wrong with that. Like, hold on. And we're talking about at the Grammys for a 50-year tribute. Now listen what I'm saying. First of all, let me say this.
It's all my fault.
But let me get this. But let me get this out the way.
No, you win.
No, let me get this out the way. No, I'm gonna speak on it.
I shouldn't have got on the plane. I shouldn't have went to the Grammys. I shouldn't have got on stage. I shouldn't have rapped that song. I shouldn't have walked off stage. And I shouldn't have got back on the plane and came home. It's all my fault, bro.
Okay, I'm gonna speak on this though.
Yeah,
I'm gonna speak on this. So you ain't finished.
I'm so fucking glad that they called me, Willie.
I'm gonna speak on.
I'm so glad that Quest reached out to me to do that motherfucking song, bro. I'm happy about that shit.
I'm sure you are.
I'm glad people got a chance to see me, man. Because people don't really get the chance.
I'm sure you are.
They don't really get a chance to.
Ass nigga. So
you a selfish ass nigga, Willie. So. You way more selfish than me.
I would have never done no shit like that.
Well, I don't know, bro.
I would have never done no shit like that. The moment was too big, bro. The moment was too big. I would have never done that. And let me say this.
My response.
But let me say this, Brad. I don't give a. Let me tell you something. And let me finish. I really don't give a fuck about the Grammys. I don't care about none of them gatekeeping ass niggas, none of that shit that they do. What I care about is the Ghetto Boys. You know, like when we decided to do this podcast, I did this podcast for the sake of the brand. I didn't do it.
I did it for the sake of the brand.
Okay,
also.
so I didn't do it.
Actually, it was my idea to do this shit.
I understand. It was your idea to do it, but I had to agree to it. So you didn't do it by yourself.
That's what I'm saying.
That's why it's called Ghetto Boys.
The brand too.
But that's why it's called Ghetto Boys. So I said, okay. The reason why I had my own podcast shit going on already. It was already doing big numbers. So it took me. I built that brand. I built the podcast brand with Willie D Live. I built that. And so when we decided we was gonna do this right here, I brought my audience like over here like this. So my thing was like, let's grow this thing and keep our brand going, keep it strong, keep it alive, keep it going. You didn't have to do this. I didn't have to do this, but I did it for the brand. You say you did it for the brand, I take your word. But look, the thing is this. In that situation where you have a 50-year tribute to to hip hop, you should have done it for the brand.
What it do? It's 903 Boxing. I'm your host, Charles J. Willie D and Scarface, idols become rivals, part 11. God damn. I don't know how many more parts it's gonna be, but actually I honestly got some other shit on my mind, but I'm gonna talk about this, but we're gonna get personal tonight. Shit. Yeah, I've been deep in thought on some shit. And it actually got me kinda in my feelings. It really do. Yeah, I'm in my motherfucking feelings tonight. But anyway, before I even get to that, Scarface is one of my favorite rappers. Let me just make that shit very goddamn clear. Scarface is one of my favorite rappers of all time. You really can't miss me on a Scarface song. So anyway, this happened months ago, but I'm just using this as an example to explain friendship. That's really what I want to talk about. I just want to talk about friendship because it's too many homies these days. Everybody got homies. I just want to ask my audience, and I just want to, how many of y'all got a true friend? Just one. Because most people think they got 7 friends. I don't know nobody that got 7 friends. You know, Jesus had 12 disciples, and all of them weren't his friends. So, you know, it wasn't but about a couple of them that was really down, Peter. But Peter still denied him, but, you know, he was down, though. You know, he sliced the old homeboy ear off, so he was down for war. He was willing to ride for some shit. But now, a couple of them still wasn't down for him. But the point I'm making is, we ain't had too many friends, and you don't get too many friends in this life you live. You lucky to get one friend throughout your whole life. Like, homies come and go, bro. Homies fuck your girl when you go to jail. Homies tell on you. Homies smoke up all your weed. Homies will use all the gas out your car and then wreck your shit and not even help it get fixed. Homies will do a lot of shit, bro. Yeah. Homies will go behind your back. Homies are just temporary. Homies are there because it's something that got them coming around. Either it's money or it's something. Maybe you cool or you keep a lot of women. It's something. Drugs, it's something for a homie to come around. A homie don't come around just because he got love for you. A homie come around because it's something that's keeping him coming that's materialistic. So, yeah, I mean, homies come and go. But back to Scarface. Listen, he performed at the Grammys, which is one of the biggest stages for a hip-hop artist to ever perform on. And I think Willie D made a... And you know what's crazy? In today's time, a lot of people think Willie D was on some hating ass shit. Today's time, people would say Willie D hating because Scarface had a big moment and you just want to be in it, included in everything, and you really a hater. And I'm finna get off this because I want to get personal, and I'm gonna tell you a personal story. I'm finna get off this, but I just want to explain real shit from fake shit. Listen, bro. For one, you perform My Mind Playing Tricks on Me, which is something that Willie D co-wrote. Let me tell you something, Scarface, and he one of my favorite rappers. I like Willie D, but I like Willie D with the Ghetto Boys. I like Scarface with the Ghetto Boys and as a solo artist. That motherfucker was the truth. And you know, when I look at it, Willie D really like the big bro of the group. And I always thought when you hear Scarface rap, he seemed like the ringleader or some shit. But now Willie D big bro, and he checked you like a big brother. He really checked you like a big brother. Because if it was some homie shit, it could have got way more work. But he got love for you. And they ended up working that shit out during the show. They worked their differences out. But Willie D really let them know that was some fake ass shit you did. And you always been a selfish motherfucker. But like I said, a lot of people think, now, Charles J, Scarface, bro, why you knocking him shining? They didn't call Willie D. They called Scarface to perform. Let me tell you something. The reason why Scarface was so guilty, Willie D said, you never thought to tell me you was performing? Nah, man, because I didn't know it was last minute, this and that. Let me tell you something, bro. Y'all homies, y'all got a show together and everything. When you having a great moment, especially like going to the Grammys, the first thing you want to do is let people know that's closest to you. Hey, man, I'm performing. I'm gonna be performing at the Grammys, bro. Yeah, man, they called me, bro. You didn't even call them. So that's for one. It's like it was just an overall selfish move. And one thing about this system, they always have used shiny shit, and that's the Grammys. It's some shiny shit. It ain't no difference from some rims. It's shiny. It's like 6 coats of some candy paint. It's some shiny shit, and they have always used shiny shit to break up friendships, to break up homes, to break up communities, all that shit. So he fell for some shiny shit, and you seen it as you thought about the Scarface name. You didn't think about the Ghetto Boys. And don't get it twisted, though. I'm glad y'all still friends, and I believe you learned from that, and I believe Scarface got love for Willie D, and Willie D got love for Scarface. They still friends. They've been friends over 30 years. So shout out to that. And friends will have bumps and bruises. It don't mean Scarface a fuck boy. You just did some fuck shit, though. Yeah, that was a fuck boy move, though. But I can't use that one fuck boy move to sum up your whole friendship of over 30 years with Willie D. And I'm glad y'all still friends and y'all got through that shit. So, let's get personal. I was thinking today, and this shit been on my, cause I don't let shit go. You know, I just can't let go. Anyway, I don't let shit go, man. I've been thinking about some shit. You know, I always said I only had one friend my whole life. You know, which is my partner. He on death row. Been on death row over 10 years. Yep. And I always said I only had one friend. But I've been thinking about that. Nah, I had 2 friends. Nah, I had 2 friends throughout my whole life. 2 friends. So my other friend was his older brother. Yeah, it was his older brother, bro. Keep in mind, like, before I went to prison and all that shit happened, you know, his brother used to come down from college and shit, and we would kick it. Plus, we all kind of grew up together, so I always knew him. But we would kick it like a motherfucker. And so when I got out, you know, I went to see his mom off the rip and see his sister and stuff like that. So he was coming down. He had done moved to Houston. And so he was coming down, and man, when he came down, bro, we just kicked it. We just kicked it, and we just immediately bonded. And it's like, you know, it's weird because he reminded me of Courtney, and I reminded him of Courtney. He would tell me, bro, you remind me of Courtney. And I'll be like, bro, you remind me of Courtney, because they look just alike anyway. And they just act alike. It was just crazy. But, and it wasn't just because that he act like, nah, we just bonded, because we was always homies anyway. So it wasn't nothing for us to be friends. Bro, we bonded in a way so fast. And by this time, bro, I done got out and then got with a woman, and she got 2 kids and all this shit. Now I'm in a lot of shit. I got a lot of responsibilities. I'm in some shit. And it's a lot of shit going on with me. My life is moving very fast. So I tell him one day, man, we went out to eat or some shit. And I was like, bro, I want to get the fuck out of Marsha, bro. I got to get the fuck out of here, bro. I'm trying to do this music shit. It's a lot of shit I'm trying to do, and I gotta get out of Marsha, bro. I don't want to end up getting back in some trouble and shit like that. He was like, man, why don't you come up here to Houston? Man, come up. I was like, You sure? I'm saying you'll be cool with that shit? He was like, man, just, he said, all right, I'm going to talk it over with my wife, and I'm going to get back with you. So, a couple weeks passed. He hit me back. He said, everything good, bro. I said, for sure. I'm so excited. So, it's understood. So, a couple months passed, and I ended up moving up there. And I had some racks on me and shit like that, so I wasn't broke. Moved up there, you know, and he live in a nice neighborhood in Houston. Big ass 4 bedroom, maybe a 5 bedroom. Nice house. Nice neighborhood. 3-4 kids, wife. Oh, by the way, she was white. Just thought I mentioned that. Anyway, so, and I'm with a woman, she got 2 kids. So it's a lot of kids. There's 6 kids in one house. So also, let me say this. I gotta say this. Looking back on it, I'm a grown ass man now. I would have never done it. And because when you young, I was only 23 getting out of prison. I was ambitious and I didn't understand how the world was because I left the world at 18. I didn't know how shit was. I didn't know how people are. I didn't know how business and bills and money and all that kind of shit and kids and wives and families can change friendships. I didn't understand that. I didn't understand that when you in a marriage and you got a family and all that there, it's a lot of shit that you ain't finna do to jeopardize that. I didn't understand that as a man. So, make no mistake about it, I don't blame my friend for what happened later on. I don't blame him for that looking back on it, but I still feel like it was fucked up. So anyway, we move in. Everything cool, bro. We kicking it like a motherfucker. And so I get me a little gig and shit going. And so I get my parole keep in mind I'm on parole. I get my parole transferred to Houston. So I'm going to parole. I'm getting acquainted with Houston. I'm learning my way around. And so shit cool. And so also I'm looking for a place to stay. Now keep in mind, I didn't know this before I moved up there. When you a felon, it is hard as fuck to get an apartment. And also, you have to be working and because you can't just use money that you got on. You have to show the proof of income and all kind of shit like that. It was a lot of rules in Houston that I didn't understand. Like, unless you want to move in the projects or some shit, which I wasn't trying to move there. So, it's a lot of shit they got. A lot of rules and shit like that and regulations. And so, and I'm on parole and I'm a felon. So they do background checks, all this kind of shit. Like if you want to live somewhere nice. So, man, it was a struggle trying to find an apartment, trying to find a place to stay. It was a struggle. I'm talking about looking at so many different apartments, getting denied because of my record. Getting denied because of this. Getting denied because the income don't match the, what you're trying to, the apartment. So it's just a lot of struggle. So after about a month, after 1 month, I remember his wife was like, I mean, y'all finding anything? We, just kind of hinted that, kind of put a little move on it, kind of get it going, basically, get some shit in motion. I'm trying to be patient with you, but get some shit in motion. And by the way, man, I bonded with they kids, man. Beautiful kids, just beautiful. And they kids and my girl kids, they was going to school, so I would go pick them up and stuff like that. And they was bonding with the kids. They play together and stuff like that. So things began to change. After about another week or two, been there about a month and a half. She come back and say, hey, actually, he tell me, man, my wife tripping, man, this and that. Trying to see if y'all gonna find a place to. And keep in mind, bro, after a month and a half, at this point, I'm thinking like, and you in the city, shit is high. A lot of shit is going on. Shit don't move fast like that. But it's like, I'm like, it's just shocking to me when, I'm like, I didn't think we was gonna be rushed. I didn't think. So when he tell me this, we still kicking it every day. And I'm just like, okay, bro, we're gonna find something, this and that. So instead of having a hard time finding something. So he had a homeboy that lived in San Antonio, but he was from Ohio. He come down, and he was one of them homies that dudes are weird. And that's how a lot of these dudes is in boxing. You ever seen a homie that try to show you that he really this dude homie? He really the homie over you? That's kind of how he was. He was one of them motherfuckers, like, trying to prove to me that he's more of my partner's friend than I am or some shit. It was just some weird jealousy type shit. So anyway, and then his family came over, and then his wife family came over, and during all these visits, I'm starting to notice, like, everybody's looking at me and the girl I'm with and the kids like we're leeches. But all I'm trying to do is look for, listen, we can't, and for one, we had money, so it wasn't no thing like you was paying for me or this or that. But anyway, I'm just looking at how people was looking at us like I was a huge burden to. But I'm thinking in my mind, like, bro, we had an understanding and this and that, but I didn't know your wife was gonna be like. So anyway, and keep in mind, by the way, you know, his wife sat me down one day and was like, not tried to holler me, not finna do none of that, but was like, you deserve better than the woman you with, and this and that. She didn't like the girl I was with, and this and that. And you deserve better, and you deserve so much better, and this and that. She was trying to tell me what I need to do with my life, and all this and that. And she said she cares so much, and all this and that, and cares so much about me, but didn't give a fuck about my girl or them kids. So, anyway, after we were there about a month and a half. Then we get a date for June something that we got to be gone by this date, which is a month away. So by this time, keep in mind, the biggest burden is trying to get my parole transferred, but I don't know where I'm gonna move to. So, and keep in mind, ever since then, I have never lived with anybody in my life. I didn't understand that. Like I said, I was 23. I didn't understand the burden of that, and I didn't understand how things can change when you're under somebody else's rule. That's why I realized, like I said, since then, I will never live with somebody else. Never. So anyway, I'm trying to get my parole transferred, but I don't know where the fuck I'm gonna move, because I really don't have nowhere to go. And I got these kids, and I got this girl with me. So, man, this shit was crazy. So, she had a friend of the family, some dude that he was a close friend of the family, and he was like, yeah, y'all can come on, this and that. So, by this time, all the energy has changed. Me and him ain't kicking it every night. He'll walk right past, because we were kicking in the garage. He's not really talking to me, and it's more like a guilt, but yet he don't know how to come at me. And so, I'm just feeling fucked up, and I'm just like, because, bro, I can't, when you get out of prison, people don't understand. I come from a harsh environment, an environment where it ain't no love. So really, a part of me was vulnerable when I got out of prison. That's how the girl that when she got me so easy, I was vulnerable as shit. Vulnerable than a motherfucker. And I wanted love, but I just wanted peace in my life. I didn't want no more war. I didn't want to fight no more. I didn't want none of that shit. I just wanted a better life. And I didn't want no more violence or none of that shit. I wanted love. So that's what I was looking for. And I was like, man, when he offered me that opportunity, I was so grateful. And I was just like, oh, bro, this is my chance to really, really, because I seen myself, bro, out there in Houston, bro. And I ain't end up staying up there but a couple months. But had I been out there, bro, it wouldn't have took long. With my kind of ambition and the talent I got, it wouldn't have took long for some shit to really shake. So he barely talking to me. We barely talking now. And so we finally say, okay, we got a date. We're going to move to Longview with a friend of the family. And he say, but I got to use his car and our car because she got the kids and we got a lot of shit. So I'm in the car with him and she's driving the car and this and that. So we barely talking on the way down there. And I remember that was the most quiet trip. We was going down to Longview. So when we get to Longview, I tell him, hold up right quick. We get all the bags out the car. So we in there talking to the friend of the family. This motherfucker done flipped the script like he didn't even know we was coming. So we didn't even end up staying there. We ended up moving with my sister, having to go to Marshall there. We stayed at him for 2 or 3 days. We had to go to. So all this was so embarrassing, bro. You'll never know. And not only that, the girl I was with switched completely up. Her family switched up. It was all my fault. Everybody blamed me and said I got these kids out here homeless, and I was considered not a man. And it was a lot of shit, bro. It was a lot of shit, and motherfuckers blamed me and shit like that. So I just felt some kind of way, bro. So this dude acting like he don't even know we supposed to come. So by this time, he was supposed to be out there waiting. He done drove off. So cause I ain't never even get to tell him bye. So anyway, fast forward. That was 9 years ago. That was 2014, a year after I got out of prison. It's been 9 years. And in between that 9 years, what, about 5 years ago, I texted him, tried to hit him up. I think he said a few words, and I hit him up again. I didn't hear nothing. And I even heard from his wife. She checked on me about 5-6 years ago or some shit when I got with my wife right now. And was like, hey, I was just saying how you doing, and you have a beautiful wife, and this and that and all that. But the point I'm saying is, it's a goddamn shame that the woman who made you basically somewhere choose between your friend and your family. Because, you know, women will do that. They'll put that ultimatum down. But anyway, she checked on me before he did. And, you know, I always said, man, for a while I said, man, I'll never talk to him again. But throughout the years, like I said, I reached out because I got love for you, bro. And I understand you was in a situation where you got your family and you don't want to lose your family. And shit like that, because these days, boy, women, they'll have you paying so much goddamn, especially all them kids. You'll be paying and just have you down and out. But the point I'm making is, that was another friend I had, and we ain't talked since. Yeah, ever since that day that, he rode down there to Longview with me, and I got out the car. I ain't seen him since. Yeah, so just talking about friendship, bro. And now between that time and now, I've had a bunch of partners. I had a bunch of partners that I thought was friends. Nah, but Core was my friend, though. Yeah, Core, that was my motherfucking friend. And regardless of what happened, I do believe he had love for me. I just think sometimes situations happen, and it is what it is, bro. But as for me, you know, I don't want no homies, bro. I don't want no homies, and I damn sure don't want no internet homie. You got to be my friend. You got to be like a brother. We got to ride together, die together type shit, and it got to be all the way. Because these days, bro, friends come and go. And so, yeah, that's how I feel, man. So it's good to see Scarface and Willie D, that they can still, throughout their differences, they can still sit on Ghetto Boys Reloaded show and still present a great show and still be brothers. Throughout all the drama, throughout all the disagreements, we can still be brothers. That shit is hard to find. Because in boxing, bro, if you don't like a certain fighter, these motherfuckers will love your content, but because I don't like a certain fighter and I ain't a huge fan of the fighter you like, we can't be homies. So that's how I feel about YouTube. Yeah, you gotta be friends with the homies of the fighters and all that kind of weird shit. But as for me, I like who I like and I ride who I ride with, and I stand on what I stand on. This is 903 Boxing. I am your host, Charles J. With that, I'm out.